What's up? Welcome to your Buckeye Rush Hour for a Wednesday, the hump day, September 20th, 2023. Guys are having a good week. It's all downhill from here, guys. Oh boy. I can't tell you how pumped I'm getting for this freaking game. Oh boy. Tomorrow's Daily Blitz is going to be a film breakdown, but it's going to be focused on Notre Dame. Mostly. I'll try and get some clips from the Western Kentucky game. Not a ton to take out of that game, but there are a few things. But mostly I want to see what Notre Dame did against NC State. That's a big one. And if I find anything else of note, I'll include it there. I like to accentuate my T's. Note. Anyway, so look for that first thing in the morning. I got it about 25% done. So a lot of work to go the rest of this evening. Going to cut into my cocktail hour and we can't have that. Anyway, so I'm going to run through a ton of info here. I think we're going to have to just focus on the Notre Dame offense and the Buckeye defense for this episode, because otherwise I'll be here for 3 hours. So Notre Dame offense versus the Buckeye defense. Let's get into it. Got a ton of stats and numbers and things. So here we go. Returning production. Notre Dame is returning 65% of its offensive production. So Phil Steele has their quarterbacks ranked number 19 in the country. This is all position groups on the Phil Steele magazine going into the season. So quarterback, he had ranked 19th, running back 10th, wide receiver 57, O-line 15. And that O-line is where we're going to talk quite a bit. So I've got the Notre Dame 2 deep here as well, and a bunch of PFF grades and shit like that. So for the Buckeyes, we know we've only given up 21 points over the 3 games. We're ranked 20th in team passing efficiency defense. That's a 93.8. We're in the top 20. I think we're ranked number 8, actually. So top 20, top 10. Rushing defense, tied for 19th, allowing 83.3 per game. Of course, Western Kentucky didn't really try to run the ball much. We held them under 100 yards. I know that. So the question kind of going into this is, first of all, because this is Jim Knowles' second year with the Buckeyes, is he more aggressive this time around, or does he dial it back? That's a good question for the chat, actually. Is Jim Knowles less aggressive? I'm talking less zero blitz. You think he just sits back in coverage? Because that's the old saying, a lot of times that you hear from, especially old timer defensive coordinators, they say that you blitz the shit out of a young quarterback, you drop into coverage against a seasoned quarterback. That's like, just general theories that defensive coordinators throw out there. But let me know what you guys think. More aggressive, less aggressive? So quarterback Sam Hartman, we've heard all about him. He's the next best thing in the world. But he was in the 2018 recruiting class. So this guy's been playing a lot of football. Third in FBS in passing efficiency at 71.1 completion rate, over 1,000 yards, 1061 passing, and then 13 TDs passing. Now, one thing I did notice is if we're going to blitz more, I have no problem with that. Maybe not the zero blitz, maybe you just blitz a linebacker, bring 5, maybe 6, leave the secondary, but just bring linebackers only. Because Hartman, against just front 4 pressure, is a 50% completion rate. Let me share this chart with you guys quickly. I have Sam Hartman's passing chart here for the season. This is the entire year. So they don't go deep a ton. He's got 3 of 7 to the left over 20 yards, 7 of 8 down the middle, 1 of 2 to the right. He does have the 5 touchdowns down the middle, 3 to the left. And then the 10 to 20 yard range is where he really does some damage too. 3 of 4 to the left, 6 of 10 down the middle, 2 of 5 outside right. And then the short throws, he has a ton behind the line of scrimmage and a ton right over the middle, 0 to 10 yards. So 15 of 17 right over the middle of the field. You got to think he's hitting, they don't really, I wouldn't say it's a slot receiver. I'd say tight ends more than likely, and maybe a running back on a middle screen or something like that. He does go to the right side of the field at 0 to 10. Has 3 touchdowns over there, by the way. 9 of 10 over there, 131 yards, 3 touchdowns. So behind the line of scrimmage, he goes right down the middle, right in the middle between the hashes. 10 of 11, 61 yards, not huge yards. Usually those middle screens get swallowed up pretty quickly by good linebackers. So interesting numbers to me because it kind of gives you an idea of what they're trying to do. And they are actually throwing deeper than I thought they would. But Hartman is pretty accurate. But again, if you can get pressure with just a front 4, not blitzing, you're actually more successful in him not completing balls. So, wait, don't forget to call in. We're taking calls. I'm going to go as long as I can tonight. That's what she said. The number is scrolling above my head. It's also in the description below the video. So let's talk about this O-line that's really gonna set up this game, because they typically run close to 60% of the time. It's like 56, 57% of the time. And Notre Dame is trying to run the ball. So this O-line, is kind of their bread and butter, the pillars. So they have the number 26 rushing offense in FBS. They're averaging 204.5 per game and just allowing 4 sacks over 4 games. They do have 2 new guards. Number 78, Pat Coogan. He's 6'5", 303. He's a junior. He played in 1 game in his first 2 years. So this is his first year starting. And then you got number 50, Rocco Spindler, 6'5", 314. He's a junior as well. This is his first year starting. So their offensive line coach, Joe Rudolph, he came from Wisconsin. He built some of the best lines in the country at Wisconsin. And then at the tackle spots, they've got 2 likely first-round picks with Joe Alt and Blake Fisher. Joe Alt hasn't allowed a single pressure this season. He's 6'8", 322, just a monster out there. So of all offensive tackles who have 100 pass plays under their belt so far this year, Alt has a perfect blocking efficiency of 100, according to PFF grades. So hasn't allowed a hit, a hurry, pressure of any kind, obviously not a sack in 4 games. He's the second highest offensive grade total, including running and pass blocking among offensive tackles. He's an 87.3, so second in the country. And then you got at center, you got the 3rd-year starter, Zeke Correll, number 52. He's 6'3", 306. He's a graduate. Graduate. So the middle of the Notre Dame O-line is the weakness. Let me pop over here to my PFF grades. So let's start with Zeke Correll here. His grades seem to be the weakest here over the first 4 weeks. Run blocking, he went, against Tennessee State, just a 61.2. NC State, a 56.4. 62.7 against Navy. And then last week against Central Michigan, 56.6. That seems terrible for a center. Call me crazy, but you're crazy. Too late. So maybe run blocking is not his bag, baby. Pass blocking, he's fine. 83, 64, 77, 83. So against the the shittier teams like Tennessee State and Central Michigan, he does not show up very well, at least against the run, and then mediocre against NC State. So he's allowed how many pressures? 2 pressures, one hit, and 1 hurry. And that was all against NC State. Yeah, and then he's played 3 years. So last year he played 887 snaps, and then 2021 he had 362. Only allowed a single sack in 2022 and 2021. Did allow 13 pressures though last season. So that's the center, Zeke Correll, number 52. The other guys, the guards, Rocco Spindler, number 50. He's not great at run blocking either, and pass blocking. Jesus. This guy is definitely the sieve in the offensive line. He graded out a 73 run blocking against Navy, 63.5 against Tennessee State, 60.2 against NC State, and 63.7 against Central Michigan. Now, pass blocking, he was fine against Navy, 86.2, but then against Tennessee State, a 31.5. At Tennessee, that was Tennessee State. Then at NC State, he was a 41.1. Then at Central Michigan, he came up to a 64.4. Again, remember, 60 is just doing your job. So this guy looks like another freaking hole, the biggest hole. That's what she said. He's allowed 1 sack, 2 hits, 3 hurries, 6 pressures already in 4 games. That's not great, Bob. The other guard, Pat Coogan, number 78. He's one of the better interior guys here. 62 run block against Navy, 67.9 against Tennessee State, 67.2 against NC State, 63.6 against Central Michigan. And then pass blocking, 68.7, 69.2, 87 against NC State. So good job there. And then 53.9 against Central Michigan. Terrible pass blocking there. He allowed 1 hit and 1 pressure in the Navy game. So overall, grades suck, but he's not getting hits or hurries on the quarterback. So that's probably good. What else do we want to cover here? Let me go back to my notes. 1 second. Okay. So again, middle of the Notre Dame offensive line is the weakness. So we need Mike Hall to have another big game. Keep in mind, he had a big game last year against Notre Dame. And then Ty Leak as well. Ty Hamilton will be in there. So those 3 are going to be required to stop the run, number 1, because you're going against like a 60% run team. So, but number 2, and that's, I don't know, Mike Hall, he's a little smaller than Ty Leak, like 20, 30 pounds smaller. So he's more of that pass rush D tackle. So anyways, running back behind Alt and the offensive line, you got Audric Estime. I finally figured out how to pronounce his name. It's not Esteem. He's not held in high esteem. It's Estime. He can make a case for the best running back in the country. He's averaging 130.2 rushing yards per game. That's number 2 in the country. And then 8.27 yards per carry is 3rd in the country. This guy's legit. I have his grades here. Yeah. So he is one of those forced missed tackle guys. Like he's like, I got 5'11", 227. I've also seen him up over 230. So this guy is a freaking load. And he's got moves. He can cut on a dime. But his forced missed tackles on the year, this is where, you break a tackle and keep on trucking. 25. He's got 25 just in 4 games, man. He had 11 against Navy. This Navy guys, that team is horrific. Poor bastards. Anyways, 11 forced missed tackles just against Navy, 6 against NC State, 5 against Tennessee State, and 3 against Central Michigan. But and then the yards after contact, that's another big one. He averages 4.73 yards after contact. So this guy is constantly getting hit. He either breaks the tackle and continues on or falls forward. the yards after contact average, he had 7 yards after contact average against Tennessee State. That's bonkers. Against NC State is just 2.71, but he still had 134 yards on 14 attempts against NC State. That's a nice little healthy 9.6 average, 2 touches. Now against Navy, he did have a fumble, so there's that, but that's his only turnover. He's not going to do much in the receiving game at all. He's got a total of 5 targets, 5 catches. He doesn't pick up a lot of yardage. 1 for 7, 2 for 26, 2 for 22. So yeah, he's getting a first down, but not much more than that. So you don't have to worry about him so much in the pass game. Again, this team runs the ball 60% of the time almost. So he's got 5 touchdowns on the year, 521 yards, 8.4. Jeez. Yeah, this guy's a stud. He's got a long of 80 yards. So that tells you, at 227 pounds, 230, whatever he is, he can take it the distance if he's going 80. So that is Estime. I did want to talk about, I think we covered Sam Hartman for the most part. Yeah, we talked about keeping him clean, in a clean pocket. He throws a 73.7% completion percentage. Under pressure, that's just rushing 4. He throws 50%, not blitzed, 68.3. And when blitzed, a 72.4. So he really dials it up when you try and bring pressure. So that's the question for Jim Knowles. Is it worth it to bring that pressure if he's just going to slay you anyways, and their receivers, they're just 4 Jags. Honestly, they're all mediocre. They've got like maybe 10 catches a piece, not any huge numbers. So I think I'm going to come to the chat here in a sec, but I want your opinions on being aggressive if you're Jim Knowles or not. But I think give me all of the Sonny Styles in this game. I want him in every snap. I don't care if he's dragging ass. I want all of the Sonny Styles. They didn't play him much last week. They really couldn't with all the receivers in the game. So they brought in Jordan Hancock at the slot. So you're going to see that when they're not in 12 personnel, when Notre Dame's not in 12, if they have 3 wides, you're obviously going to see Hancock on the field, but most of the time you're going to see tight ends in there, and Sonny Styles is going to play like a Sam linebacker. So stopping the run. And then Josh Proctor, the big story, in my opinion, on the defense is this is Josh Proctor's revenge game, right? He was benched here last year against Notre Dame. So can Proc show up, stay within himself, make the smart plays, not make the headhunter, highlight reel plays or go for them and risk giving up another big play? We'll see. But I'm coming to the chat. Phone lines are open, folks. Bring it in here. All right. We got a ton of stuff going on. You guys are just as fired up as I am. Hey, don't forget to hit the like button, please. PC's first one, and he says, I'll be listening, but I'm driving. All right. Be careful, PC. I'll try not to say anything too provocative, make you drive off the road or something. I.O. Odysseus, he says, go Bucks, stuff the leprechaun in a locker. I like the sound of that. Timper, what's up? Good to see you. Odysseus says smarter aggression, 5-man blitzes, and sim pressures. I like sim pressures. Odysseus says AARP quarterback. Yeah, the guy's like 35, man. Anyways, Timper, notice large cushions on the corners. Our corners. Yeah, Odysseus is asking the same. The corners Hartman has faced. I don't know, man. I would play press man all day long with Burke, Igbinosin, Hancock. I would get up in those dudes' faces. Though their wide receivers do not impress me whatsoever. Lorenzo Styles Jr. was their leading receiver last year. Odysseus said, Tipper says we should disguise our blitzes better. Yeah. Yep. More of that simulated pressure, bring a linebacker like Tommy right up in the A gap, then have him drop out. That's fine with me. I have no problem with that. Occasionally you do have to bring him. But yes, Odysseus has it nailed. Stop the run is the key. And that guy's a freaking load. Timper says our corners, we play soft coverage. Not all the time, Timper. They played off last week a bit, but they're not always off the ball. They're up there in press man many times. Odysseus says whole offense is predicated on play action. Yep. Estimate gashing. Yep. Yes, they are deep at running back, but most of the guys behind Estimate are younger. Odysseus says that needs to improve, need to get physical with Indeed. Yeah. But again, the passing game is not my concern when I'm talking about the Buckeye defense. I think you could fucking man up, just go man up one-on-one coverage, single coverage on their receivers, and you're going to be fine. Now you're going to have to cover a tight end and then probably a couple tight ends and then stop the run. Those are the focuses. Their receivers are not the focus, in my opinion. Temper, our strength is up the middle. Yeah. Yep. At D-line and linebacker, so at 2 levels. Odysseus says Mike Hall and Tyleek need to feast. Yep. Temper says Hamilton and Canoe could give them breaks too. Yes, going to need depth, and we haven't seen anything from Taiwan Malone. He's just played some garbage snaps, so I can't factor him into the equation here. Odysseus says he was held to 4.6 yards per carry versus NC State, their best opponent. Yep, that's still a good average. So he still went for over like what I just say 130 on 14 carries, something like that. Yeah, they gave up the 80-yarder. No, we cannot allow that, Odysseus. Temper says, I'm not concerned our LBs and safeties can hit. Yeah, the trick is wrapping them up. Yeah, Proctor loves to hit. That's his bag, baby. But you do need to wrap up. That's where the linebackers excel. Ransom is known to miss a tackle here or there. He's also playing with that. I don't know if he has broken fingers or what, but he's playing with a brace on his right hand, his ring finger and his little finger. And he has like a black hard brace over his hand and wrist. So that's a concern when you're talking about wrapping up and taking dudes to the ground. Jaded Clay, nice to meet you. I resemble that. I don't know what that means. Temper, no need to blitz unless needed. Okay, so less aggressive Temper. Yeah, play press coverage. I agree. Jada Clay, if you're going to go man, you're going to get hurt. Tyree and Stays can get separation. Have you seen our corners, Jaded Clay? Yeah, Denzel Burke is likely a first-round draft pick. Igbenosin, 6'2", got arms for days. Jordan Hancock, it's good too. So I'm not worried about your wide receivers getting separation whatsoever. But you do have to cover them. But I wouldn't expect any double coverage or some kind of shit like that. Priority one is stopping the run. Hey, folks, don't forget to hit the like. We got people piling in here now. I was going to run through some stats here, some of the key efficiency stats and things like that. See where the Buckeyes and the Irish kind of differ. Points per game, they're almost identical. Buckeyes 43, Notre Dame 42-7. Points per play, very close. Buckeyes at 672, 0.672. Notre Dame's 0.684. Scoring margin doesn't matter. Yards per game, Buckeyes 471, advantage to Notre Dame with 492. Yards per play, close, advantage Notre Dame 7.9 to 7.4. Time of possession is pretty close. Barely favors the Buckeyes at 49%. Notre Dame 48%. Defensive stats, opponent points per game, Buckeyes average 6.5. Notre Dame's 14.7. Opponent points per play, Buckeye advantage here as well. 0.101 to Notre Dame's 0.229. Opponent yards per game, Buckeyes allowing 218.5, Notre Dame 260.3. Opponent yards per play, the Buckeyes 3.4, Notre Dame 4.1. Takeaways, Buckeyes at 2.0, Notre Dame 1.0. Turnover margin, now Notre Dame has the advantage here. 0.7 to Ohio State's 0.5. Penalty yards per game. This is one thing that surprised me. I talked about this on the Sunday night show too. Notre Dame has an average of 54.7 penalty yards per game. The Buckeyes at 40.5. I thought the Buckeyes were actually committing way too many penalties. But so I was very surprised that a Notre Dame team, which is usually very disciplined and fundamentally strong, that they were putting up 54 yards in penalties. That seems substantial. Plays per game are almost equal, 64 to 62.3. Buckeyes favored there. Not sure that matters. QB sack percentage, Ohio State favored there, 1.56% of the time to Notre Dame's 4.94%, still pretty minimal. Pass play percentage, Buckeyes 50%, Notre Dame 43.32. Completion percentage is pretty close, 68 to 67.5. Yeah. So catching up on the chat. Sorry, Jade Clay, take your time. Jaded Clay says, I did when I watched the Indiana game. Game is going to be close and score is going to be in the 30s. You got to realize half of those penalties were bad calls from ACC refs. Well, have you seen Big Ten refs? It's like every city that has bad traffic, it's the city you live in, right? Or the city you've been to. It's the same shit. So it sounds to me like in the chat, you guys are thinking, the Buckeye fans anyways, are thinking less aggressive is the answer from Jim Knowles. I'm fine with that. I think see how you can do with just rushing forward and looking for the run on the way to the quarterback, obviously. Maybe run some stunts. We haven't run too many stunts that I've seen. I'm going through the film of Western Kentucky, and then I'm going to do the Notre Dame NC State game. I think run some stunts, not just one-on-one with the edge rushers just going on with a tackle. Run some freaking stunts. Mike Hall can run a stunt just as well. He's pretty nimble for a big dude. Again, he's not big as Tyleek, but Mike Hall can get pressure. He's got some pass rush moves. And I think that's one angle, Again, the simulated pressure as well. Bring a linebacker up to the A gap, B gap, whatever. Let's see what their pass pro is like. That's one thing I was going to check on Estime. I'm glad I finally figured out how to say his freaking name. That thing was haunting me all week. let's talk about pass pro here. Blocking. 1 second. Oh, I got to go to fucking blocking. Okay, here we go. So pass blocking against Navy was not good for Mr. Estime. He allowed a pressure. He was graded a 6.8. But he was only in there for one pass blocking snap and he, didn't do well. So that looks like maybe a weakness. He had 5 pressures allowed against NC State, 3 against Central Michigan. No hits or hurries or sacks or anything. So guys are getting by him a little bit, but not causing any havoc, So run blocking doesn't matter for him. Yeah, just the 9 pressures. So not bad for a running back. A lot of times running backs don't grade out well, just generally speaking, against pass pro. Tipper says Big Ten refs suck. Yes. BBC. Oh, shit. Jaded Clay says, as long as we don't have the refs from the FSU BBC game, I think, BC game, I think it will be good, fair game. Matthew Miller, what's up? Good to see you, Matthew. We got some people rolling in here after 5 o'clock. Like to see it. Matthew says, set the big fellas free and play zone and back and maybe blitz 1 LB at a time. I like that. They did run a nice blitz. The Buckeyes did against Western Kentucky last week that caught my eye. I'll try and include it in the film breakdown for tomorrow. So they ran Steele up the B gap. I think it was, it was up the B gap, and then Tommy on a delayed blitz right behind him. So Steele took on the running back as the running back stepped up to, protect the quarterback, take on the blitzer. Tommy came in behind Steele and the running back and snuck in and almost got he might have got the sack on that one. I got to go back and double check. So many plays running through my head that I rewatched 1,000 times, but that is a nice blitz. If you have the time and you can get in there on a delayed blitz, and Sam Hartman, I talked about this on the Sunday night show. He'll sit back there for a little bit. He'll sit back there for more than 3 seconds. I think it was a 3.14 on average. So most of the 3 teams that we've played so far, we're getting it out in like 2.2, 2.5 max. So Hartman's going to give us some opportunities to get in the backfield. Back to the chat. I need a drink of water, guys. Sorry. Getting fired up for this game. I can't freaking wait. Hey, we got a ton of people rolling in. Hey, hit that like button, please, and thank you. Okay, Odysseus says, I like the possibility of dropping JT into coverage off of a cover 0 look, but rush 5. Okay. So like a zone blitz. As long as he does something productive and doesn't just drop. He needs to drop where he's covering somebody, not just dropping for the sake of dropping. Because you're not really doing much for just standing there. Jada Clay says ND weaknesses, line tackling and turnover capitalization. Okay. D-line tackling, I assume is what you mean. That's interesting. Odysseus, says maybe we can get maybe JT can get a pick. Maybe. He does have good hands. Tipper says, I've been looking at our roster and we have huge guys on both sides of the ball, but half of them don't play. Very true. Jada Clay says, oh, and our kicker has a catapult for a leg this year. Okay, great. So if it's close, we might be in trouble. Matthew says, long as Kyle does not turn over the ball, we win. I like to agree with that. Yeah, I think no turnovers. Even an average game from Kyle McCord, the quarterback, with no turnovers, that's a win. It's a Buckeye win. Run the ball, rely on the run for 200, 250, something like that. Not sure that's 100% possible. What's Notre Dame got here on defense? Rushing yards per game. Opponent rush, yards per rush. Notre Dame allows 3.0, Buckeyes 2.3 yards per rush. Rush, I want to see rushing per game. Okay. Just have yards per rush there. So anyway, I think you run the ball. Kyle takes care of it. Take the occasional deep shot to Marv. I mean, basically what we've been seeing, right? I mean, I got Kyle's pass chart here too, if we want to get into a little bit of the offense. I think on Friday, we'll focus 100% on the offense. Oh, we got PC on the phones. Oh, I got to take this call. One second, PC, I got to put it in my headphones. All right, we got PC joining us. He's popping on right now, connecting his audio. One second. There we go. Oh, he's audio still connecting. Still connecting. All right. We got PC on a car phone in California.
Yeah,
What's
man.
up, PC?
You hear me okay?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, man. Yeah, this is gonna be something else. I'm telling you. A lot of intangibles going into this. The whole McCord first marquee game and all that. The other guy, I guess, has been there for about 15 years or something.
Yeah.
But no, excited for it. So I like it how you're isolating our defense and their offense. I like that approach. One at a time instead of bouncing around. So
Yeah.
So you're going over a lot of numbers there.
Yeah.
So on the PFF grades, you had some of their inside guys on their O line with not great grades, and I've been hearing all freaking week about how they have just an awesome ass O line. So I'm not sure what to believe, man.
Yeah, I would say the tackles, the right and the left tackle, are your first round draft pick level O linemen, but your guards, interior guys, the center's not bad from what I'm looking at with the grades, but the two guards, and the grades, the PFF grades are not, the all telling stats, but the two guards, what's his name? Rocco Spindler, the Buckeyes were in on him back in recruiting in 2021. And then Pat Coogan, the other guy. Spindler seems to be the weakest link.
It sounded like their pass blocking was good, but their run blocking wasn't the best, or at least it wasn't as good as the pass blocking, right?
Correct.
Okay, and then they estimate his blocking, which sounds limited. His limited role in pass blocking that wasn't that much. So
yeah,
it's going to be one. I think our guys can get to him. Last year Paul got in there, and he had a day.
Right.
I really don't think, and with the way that Tyreek seems to be playing, at least last week, and for the first couple of games, I guess in total, like looks pretty good. So I like our chances on the inside of the line there.
Yeah, I do too. The edges, I don't know. We've seen mixed results the last few weeks with Jack and JT.
Yeah, Jack. He did step up this last game. No sacks, right? But a lot of
Right.
lot of pressures, and that's good. That's if you can force them to get the ball out quick. But it doesn't sound like this guy, Notre Dame quarterback, whatever his name is, I forgot.
Hartman, yeah.
Hartman, there you go. It doesn't sound like he's one of these get it out quick guys, right? It sounds like
Right.
he'll kind of wait a little bit. So,
Yep.
I know that for sure Notre Dame hasn't seen anything like our defense yet. So the numbers, stats, and all that, the analytics, that's all hard to say. But I really think they're gonna be overwhelmed, man, by our defense. I really do.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just looking at Mike Hall Jr. He has 50 snaps. So I sorted by interior defensive lineman, and Hall is 66th in the country by grade, but he has 5 QB pressures, 1 sack, a hit, and 3 hurries. So, and his win rate is a 14.6, which is pretty good. So that's the focus here, at least on passing downs. When you want to get a pass rush, I think Mike Hall again could have himself a day.
Yeah, they're that running back they have. They estimate he sounds like a load, man.
Oh yeah,
Oh my
yeah,
God.
he's about 230.
Well, Tommy and Steele, those guys are reliable. I don't have any doubt that they'll be able to handle that job. But yeah, I've seen this before where these big name running backs come in and our guys are able to make these teams one dimensional. You take those guys out, and that's it. Like they roll over and tie. I can't remember. There's a Wisconsin running back, I think, a few years ago, maybe, and not sure. I want to say like Michigan State a couple years ago too.
Oh yeah.
So it's like if we focus on taking those guys out of the equation, the other team really kind of they just give up because they don't really have a backup plan. And in these guys' case, they do receiver by committee. They spread the ball to a whole bunch of different receivers. So it's not like they don't have a Marvin Harrison Jr. So they're peppering it around to whoever's open at the time. So
Yeah.
I don't know how much success they'll have. I don't think they'll have much, to be honest, against our corners. But
Yeah, I agree. I'm not real concerned. We had somebody in the chat saying, I believe he's a Notre Dame fan here, Jaden Clay, that we should cover their receivers because they can get separation. And I don't know if that's true with Burke. I mean, Burke is playing like a first round corner. Igbinosun, he's 6'2", long arms. Then Hancock's had a ton of experience, and he's healthy. So I'm not really concerned about their receivers. They just seem to be all mediocre. Like 10 each has like 10 catches on the season. They played 4 games, so nobody's really lighting it up, and that's not their offense anyway. I think I mentioned it. They're close to 60% run plays on offense. So
yeah, so, I mean, you probably looked at it, or maybe it's even reflected in the stats, in the PFF grades or in the stats that you have there. But you kind of got to put it into context. Where do these stats come from, and the teams that they came against? We've established that Navy is not the best, at least this year. And
Right.
you know, Tennessee State, they're up and coming, right? And their head coach Eddie George.
Is that Eddie George's team? I was thinking it was Middle Tennessee
Not
State.
sure, man. But anyway, regardless, the two opponents they played, you know, they're not exactly world beaters. So I think they're gonna run into the Buckeyes, and they're gonna be in for a rude awakening. I think, you know, to kind of sum up, I guess what you're touching on, you know, their offense versus our defense. I would take our defense all day, every day, and twice on Sunday.
Yeah, that is Eddie George's team, actually, Tennessee State. I don't know why I was thinking Middle
There you go.
Tennessee. So yeah.
So yeah,
Was that payback for the 95 game?
yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't know. It could be. You know what? I went to Ohio State game in would have been 96. Yeah, it would have been 96 season. And I guess I saw Eddie George, but I didn't know it at the time. You know, I was still in high school and dumb, didn't know shit. So, but you know, looking back now, I was like, man, I should have paid attention. You know.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, you know, there is a concern. You know, night game, away, you know, in Notre Dame. So I mean, I can see a lot of intangibles of the reason the spread is you know, 3. So I could see it, but I I have a hard time thinking that they're going to be able to. Let's say, for example, even if they do get something started on the offensive side of the ball, a little bit. Let's say that they do. Are they going to be able to keep up? And this is the other part of the discussion that we're not having yet. But are they going to be able to keep up with our offense? I don't know. I don't think so, man. I really don't. But
Yeah.
But you know, sticking to the topic at hand, their offense and our defense. I'm taking our defense. You know, this year was better than the last, which was better than the one before that. So I mean, it's just progressively getting better and better. You know, that arrest warrant for Knowles, I think we need to put that away for now. So let's, you know, I'm not saying
never forget.
Yeah, I'm not saying shred the thing. I'm saying just put it on the bottom of the pile. You know, I think it's going to work out.
Right.
So,
well, I'm holding you to it.
Yeah, man. I think what did I get? What I picked 38-14. I think it was.
Oh yeah, let me double check that. Yeah, I got 38-14 for you. So yeah. 52.
Yeah, I'll stick with that.
All right.
You know, it could turn into a shootout. You know, and if it does, you know, I'm still taking the Buckeyes.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Definitely interested. I don't know if I'll be able to catch it live though, but yeah, this is going to be a real good matchup. You know, the best matchup all week for all that Saturday. So.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely the game that everybody's waiting to see. Quick question before I let you go. Your thoughts on Jim Knowles' aggressiveness? Blitz, no blitz? What do you think? You think he goes less aggressive, plays back, or comes after?
Yeah, I think less aggressive. There'll be a time and a place for a blitz, of course, but sounds like they run it a lot. You know, a lot more. Well, they're more than they throw it. So I say less aggressive. Let him come to you. You know, there was another number you threw out there, something about Hartman's under pressure or under blitz. His numbers are actually higher, and that's probably because you're taking the linebackers out of the equation and throwing them into the blitz, and it just opens up a hole in the middle. So
right,
that's probably what's happening there. So I would say hang back, let him come to you. You know, if he can run around or through everybody, then okay, then you beat us. But I make him earn it.
Yeah.
I think if we get up a couple scores early, that's gonna kind of take him out of the equation a little bit anyway, and they're gonna start passing a lot, and that'll open up the blitz. But I think that's kind of the key, is to get a quick lead, so make them throw it, because it sounds like that guy Estime is the one. You know, not so much the quarterback. It's Estime. So
yeah,
just my opinion. But I'd say a little less aggressive. Don't get burnt over the top. That could potentially create like a tsunami or tidal wave type of effect, you know.
Well, there's
Already
going to
going
be a
to have
tsunami in my living room of glass hitting the wall. But
Well, I mean, you're already going to have, you know, McCord in his first major game. It's away.
yeah,
You know, it's a pretty good opponent at night. I mean, there's a lot of factors there that could easily get into McCord's head, and I just hope I hope he's cool, calm, and collected, and doesn't let it get to him. You know, he bounced back from that the fumble last week. I thought was good. Just bounce right back. That's what you got to do.
Yeah.
Forget that play, go on to the next. You know,
yeah.
just keep moving forward. Keep it's like a linebacker. You know, keep your legs churning. So
Yeah, and he's
yeah, I think less
McCord's been
aggressive, man.
okay. I like that. McCord's been less, or I should say, very calm and poised in the first drive of the game. So if you drive down and at least get a scoring drive, not necessarily a touchdown, but at least a field goal, that says something, I think, about setting a tone, you know?
Yeah, it kind of takes the edge off a little bit, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm with you there. I think so. Of course I'd like to see a touchdown, but
Sure, of
um,
course.
but I think the quicker that you can take that crowd and Estime out of the game, the better.
Yeah.
Because
With
that's
you there.
you know, you just don't want to be late in the game, real close, you know, a lot of emotion stuff going on. Like I don't know. I'm of the opinion we should just try and put it to bed early. But
Yeah.
you know, either way, it'll be a good game. I don't foresee you know, a 63-10.
Yeah.
But for sure, I see more than a 3-point win.
Yeah, definitely. So,
All right, buddy.
all right, man. You gonna be back in on Friday?
Yeah, it should be.
Right.
I want to hear what you have to say. Should be here.
Yeah, we're gonna flip it around and do the Buckeye offense versus the Notre Dame defense in some details. So and the film breakdown for tomorrow's Daily Blitz will be mostly Notre Dame focused. We'll have some Buckeye stuff. So
Yeah, I'd like to see that, you know, kind of see what they're doing, you know, what they're doing right. I don't know what the focus is going to be, but what they're doing right or what they're doing wrong or how they could be exploited or whatnot. But definitely looking forward to that.
yeah, definitely.
Hey, Joe,
Right,
I got my shirt today. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Awesome.
Love it.
Awesome.
It built Ohio tough, baby. That's right.
Nice. That's awesome, PC. I'm glad you like it. You earned it. And hopefully Ray
Direct
Ray
from
gets his
Indonesia. No, I'm just kidding.
or North Carolina, whatever.
Yeah, it was North Carolina. You're apparently your production department is in North Carolina. I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. But yeah,
Good deal, man.
well, you work in the shipping department, so you probably wouldn't know that.
Somebody forgot to tell me that. That's probably why all this shit's getting late.
For Ray, I gotta touch base with him, see what's going on.
It's worth the wait, Ray. Hang in there, man.
Nice. But all right,
right,
we're
Joe.
gonna jump out of here. I'm gonna get caught up on the chat, and we'll be back in on Friday, of course, talking more Buckeyes and Domers.
Sounds good, brother. I'll talk to you later.
All right, take care, man.
Bye.
See you. All right, folks, let's check on the chat here as we wind down tonight's show. Jada Clay says running is your best option. Okay, against your defense. Matthew Miller says Kyle leads Big Ten in QBR. That's right, he does. 3 picks by JJ last week helps, right? Matthew says we come in to set a tone for our season, fellow. We went down with 3 wins. Just know it's personal when we blow through South Bend. Nice. Odysseus says maybe should move JT inside on Rushman package with Hall and have Kenyatta and Sawyer on the edge. Okay. I like it. I like getting Kenyatta in there. Caden Curry, don't forget about him. They've been bringing him down in the Rushman package. Temper QBR, is that QB runs? No, quarterback rating. It's the I think it might be PFF's quarterback rating system. That's what QBR is. Odysseus says Kenyatta has that bend that could cause their tackles problems. Yep, definitely. Odysseus says Irish fans already crowning him the bust 2.0 estimate. Yeah. Tipper says Melton has a quick jump. That's who I would like to see more of at the DN position. Mitchell Melton. Can we get him some snaps in the first half? You know, just a handful. That's who I want to see at the end, just for a change of pace. Hey, don't forget to hit the like button before you get out of here. On your way out the door, Odysseus says Navy and Tennessee State probably have sub 250 pound D tackles. Yeah, I would probably. So yeah, again, you got to remember these opponents early in season. You know, sometimes it's fool's gold when somebody racks up 130 yards rushing. You know, but Odysseus says that was the game Terry Glenn had a house call while Regis was being interviewed. Yeah, 95. That was a great game. Tipper says, I want to see our offense against a good defense. Yeah, kind of a measuring stick. You're going to see that. You're definitely going to see that. If the O-line holds up, I think it's smooth sailing. But we're going to talk about the Buckeye offense on Friday. So make sure you're back in here, please. Odysseus says, could be a kick return potential. Tennessee State had a couple 30-plus returns. All right, I like that. We do need a good kick return for once, man. Jeez. Oh, we got an Irish fan in here. Isle fan 15, TJ. Go Irish. Okay. Hey, Irish fan, please hit the like button. We're about to bounce out of here. We usually go 4:30 to 5:30 during the season. So don't forget, Friday, 4:30 p.m. Eastern, Buckeye offense versus the Irish defense. Who has the upper hand? We're going to go through each position group, match them up, run through the stats, the grades, all that stuff like we did today. So appreciate all you guys. We'll talk to you on Friday. Go Bucks.